What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Unofficial Therapy Podcast. This is Chris Kane. As you already know, I have my girl Lauren Chase in the building. What's up, Lauren?
Hey, not mucho. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. And as you see from the backdrop, this is your album cover. Tell us about this a little bit.
So this is actually a single off my EP. It's called Wanderlust.
All right.
And funny enough, it is about mental health. And it's called Open to the Public. It's going to be out this fall.
Nice.
I have 2 singles that are out right now. I did like a re-release. It's like a voicemail that I shared with my mom and a song that I did for her.
That's cool.
Thanks. And so, yeah, I'm going to be doing 5 songs in the EP. And this is the second single off of that. The first song is called So Glad You're Here. It's about codependency and, you know, suicide prevention and awareness. And this one's Wanderlust is about, it's funny, your little band says I support dreams. It's literally about dreaming is not a waste of time. And that's like the hook of the song and like the whole premise of, you know, I talk to people all the time and I'm like, what do you want to do? What did you want to do? And are you doing that?
Oh.
And
it's a heavy question for a lot of people. They're
right?
like, well, I wanted to be a post office
worker.
worker.
What happened was,
life happened.
So life happened. That was the whole thing. It's like life happens, but still you have to know that like dreaming isn't a waste of time and that your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions are still valid. So that's kind of like where I was in like my mom passed 5 years ago. So this is all sort of like my grieving. I'm bipolar too.
Cool. This is like therapy for you.
100%. And so like I really want my music to be like abstract enough where people listen to the song and then think about things. Like I really want them to like have it resonate with them, whatever they see fit. And this is just like kind of what I did that healed me. But I also want to be like vulnerable enough to like share that with other people in hopes that they'll start thinking about things and be like, you know what, I'm not happy where I am. And, you know, maybe I can't change that right now, but I'm aware of it. And then once I can accept it, maybe I can apply it to my life here or there.
Gotcha. So you want this to be like entertaining, informational, but then also transformative.
Growth. Right. 100%. And that heals me, knowing that, you know, that is truly just reiterating that we're not alone and knowing that like through these things that we can really group together and find like a common place of wherever we're coming from. Because like your problems may not be what I would think are as bad as my problems, but that's the worst problem that you've had. And that doesn't diminish your problem. I may think my problem is the worst thing in the world, but that's what I've experienced as my worst. But that doesn't belittle your pain and your struggle. And I think when we sit down and can like acknowledge that, then I think change can happen, whether it's large or small, and that matters. That's valid.
Listen, I'm happy we're doing this now. You got people hitting you up. You got to wave at your people. We have a live going on over here, but
behind the scenes.
Yeah. People want to shout you out.
Oh, I flipped it.
You gotta get the
That's
back.
Okay. Well, no, they're getting the behind the scenes. If they want to see it and get waved at,
see my windowsill.
You have to go to see your windowsill. It's a great windowsill. What's up, Brady?
It works. But I like the fact that your goal in this is to help people, because there's music that just is for money, right? We put music out just to make money. Then there's music that's meant to be maybe just be a vibe. Well, that too. But in your case, you're taking what you've gone through, repurposing it to help people what they're going through.
Right. 100%.
Which is kind of what we do on the pod. Which is why this is
honestly, there's no such thing as a coincidence.
Sure. I agree with you.
Like all these like cliche sayings that there are, like everything happens for a reason. Like there's no such thing as coincidence. Like
is that the voice they say it in every time?
Every time.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's literally like so true, and it's like frustrating, but at the same time, it's like yet again, it wins.
You're foiled again. But that's their experience too. So just like pain demands to be felt, grieving is its own process. People's 100%. Context in their life is what that is. So in their life, maybe they see life as a bunch of random events, and they just say, well, this happenstance, serendipity, whatever, and then you can see way more connectivity in it, and that is what drives your life. So,
well, you know what's funny about that is like I pray. I'm not saying like anything religious, but I pray.
Say it.
I prayed for God to I was like, God stop the world. I just need to like slow down. And then like it was really nice of him to like start this quarantine because of
100% for you.
1000%. No, and like I'm not making any jokes about anybody who's has it or has lost family and friends. Just a little side note disclaimer. But it's crazy because thinking about mental health, there are so many people that have found their identity in the things that they do
100%.
that they're now having to sit with themselves and have to think about these things that they never wanted to think about or that they've suppressed, whether it's at their work, their school, what they spend their time doing. So I love that you're doing this podcast.
This is for the people.
Yeah, and it's such a great time to be doing it because like they're gonna be scrolling through anything and it's like, all right, well, let's give it a shot. You know, if they haven't seen it before, YouTube tags, they do all the things. And I think that if there's content out there that's not just like Lambos, which that's fine. You know, like what the new SUV. Yeah, 100%. You know that you can like we can like rent one for like $100. I don't know if they're open anymore.
I'm not here to fake it. If I got a Lambo, you know that's mine.
All right, fine. But I mean, there's so many other things that like I would buy with that money. I really want to start a 501c3 for animals. But anyway, that's like I'm a Gemini, a middle child, and I'm bipolar. So there's like 17 people sitting in this chair right now. So
that's why I feel like this is such a interactive experience.
Collective
I'm
experience.
like, hey, how you doing? I'm
yes,
high-fiving people.
I know.
That's why I wanted you to high-five your people over here because those are your people.
Oh, hi, Paul. Yeah, so just side note, you can cut this out. This is Chris. This is an amazing podcast that we're doing. You guys have the behind the scenes.
It's called the Unofficial Therapy Podcast. Catch it on Spotify and the podcast app.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So this is what we're doing.
This is in-show sponsorship. That's how we're getting stuff off right now.
Literally. So you guys don't even see what we have on the screen here, but you guys get the green screen and just like hang out and then get excited for Spotify follows for both of us. And if you're watching this and you're not following me, bye.
So it's not that you said bye, it's that
bye. Okay, wait, have you seen Schitt's Creek?
Nope.
Okay, that's what we're doing after Big Hero 6. So it's gonna be a really long day today.
It's like, but I got stuff to do. I got things to do. I got more pods. No. The purpose of
they
all
can
of
come.
this.
We'll pull up a chair.
Or we got 17 people in the house already. I don't have enough space.
That's true.
The purpose of the pods was really like this was fortuitous based on COVID because all my pods that are mine are just me doing audio. I just got the green screen like a few months ago, so we didn't have the backdrop. So it was just me in my room recording, and we have those out. Once this happened, I needed to have guests, or I wanted to have people on who I have friends who I lost contact with from college, people like my boy Craig Lee, who I talk to sometimes, but he's wanted to be on the pod for like 5 years. I said, Craig, you live in Denver, I'm in LA, it's been hard to kind of connect. So I said, hey, let's do a Zoom. And then we had a video, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And I realized this is video and an audio, and I said, wait, we can put these video clips out and attract more people to the pod. Mm-hmm. And then it became a thing where it's like, why do I do this with all the pods going forward? It makes it much easier to digest than just audio. And visuals are nice. We have your single in the back. Now people can see it. So they're like, how do you spell Wonderlust? Boom. It's in the back.
No
now
excuses.
They can see it.
Yeah,
no excuses. If you can't spell,
excuses.
if you can't read and then type it back, just say it to Siri.
Then like, I'm worried about you.
Well, Siri, play Wonderlust. And it's like, gotcha.
Like Alexa.
I don't mess with Alexa.
I don't
she's
either.
not allowed in this house.
I have one and like it's not even plugged in and she's like, noted.
Nope. I go in people's houses, Alexa? All right, cool. It's a safe place in there. If I say like, Alexa, she's like, what's that? I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Well, it's crazy because like literally it wasn't plugged in or like I didn't have my Wi-Fi set up and it was just like, calling.
Oh, I don't trust her.
Mercury.
Okay, Google. Nah, we're not here for it. I will
There's
type.
so many different things, but I mean, like, I am like so thick in my Apple cult. Like, I still have like my iPod Nano, my Shuffle.
They still make those?
They don't make them. I just
want to make sure. I thought you had like a refurbished, like
No. Okay. Like, I was that person that like made sure. But like, once you get something from them and they come out with something new, all of a sudden that doesn't work anymore. So you have to get more. So I have the iMac. I have 2 MacBook Pros. Okay. I have an iWatch that I was late and I forgot. And I have an iPhone. Yeah. Oh, Matt says hi, Chris.
What's up, Matt?
He's a great videographer.
Well,
So
we may need Matt to shoot a video at some point for your
Yeah.
upcoming album, which, you see that? Woo! You see that?
Oh,
You see that?
segue. That's why you have a show, and I
Listen,
know.
I don't want to talk about it too much. So tell us about your upcoming album, because that
Was a great
turn
segue.
was
That was
beautiful.
great. See,
Matt, shout out
we'll
to
give
Matt.
we'll give that to Matt.
There you go.
So I have it's an EP, which
Okay.
doesn't make sense because it's called Extended Play, but it's smaller than an album. So it's about 5 or 6 songs.
Okay.
And usually indie artists put that out because you don't want to put out a whole album when nobody like knows about you, because
Sure.
then it's just like,
It's on
now what?
the ether.
Yeah, I was gonna do like all singles, and then I was like, no, because obviously I want to write songs about other things, but when I sit down to write songs, they're all about this. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like bundle them,
Right.
and then keep adding and maybe extend it to like an LP, which is like a full album.
Right.
But it's called Open to the Public, and it's about mental health. Like I said before, I'm bipolar too. There are many different bipolars on the spectrum, which I didn't know. So like I've had ADHD and depression and anxiety from like a young child, but it was so hard for me to like study or focus because there was this other thing in play that wasn't linking the medications I had or the therapy I was doing together. So like when I was recently diagnosed bipolar 2, which is basically like the comorbidity between the two of them, like it's like they all had a baby. And so now that they're together, I can understand like how my brain works and know that like this is not crazy. Like bipolar 2 is just as crazy as like diabetes and a broken foot. And so long story long, my album is called Open to the Public. It's going to be out in the fall at some point. I have like 7 singles that I really want to just kind of morph into that, because it's really all I think about. It's all I write about. It's all I read about. My nerd is reading. But
we're talking about anime before this, and apparently
okay, so
I'm too nerdy. It's fine.
We just trying to run the whole thing.
No, you
it
guys,
was so great.
Thank God we didn't, because I think we both will be in jail.
Okay, well, 1, okay, and then 2, like let's do that again. So
but
that was my thing. Okay,
that's fine.
Yeah,
they got it.
Okay,
so tell me.
It.
So this is I'm sure people are listening at home like, hey, like tell us more about once you got the epiphany of what your full diagnosis was. What was that emotional experience like? I'm sure it was frustrating not knowing what was going on.
It's still frustrating every day, because there's so many times that I'm like, why me? Why can't I just involuntarily do what you expect your brain to do? And it's so, it's like your mind goes down this rabbit hole of being like, if I had some other sort of injury, I would know like, okay, I don't have my left hand right now, but like I'll gain strength and do things for physical therapy. But it's so hard when your brain, controls everything. And then to be so frustrated, you don't want to do the exercises for your brain to understand how your brain is wired. And everyone's brain is wired differently. Right. So it was such a relief for me to understand that is why. But I have this like self-sabotage is in everybody's brain, but someone who has neurotransmitters that are literally just wired differently, it's so hard for me day to day to be like, this isn't real, like this isn't my brain, but it is. So like I constantly fight myself about wanting to make a change and like fix it, which isn't fixable, but also feel relieved that this is why I'm thinking this way, and I'm able to like support myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And know that like I have tools now, whether it be medication, whether it be different types of therapy, or my therapist is just like super helpful. She does art therapy, different things that we can constantly do that train our brains to do more than what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I feel like grateful that I've become aware of it, because it's expanding my gratitude and my thankfulness for the way that I'm able to be creative and think, because my brain is different, not better, not worse,
Right.
just different.
So like, how does that impact the way you write music? I know, and I understand the subject matter is on that, but in the actual mechanics of writing a song, I'm not a musician.
Right.
You guys know that. So, it's a rough one, let me tell you. But like, when you go to write a song, is it like a stop and go process? Is it some days you write and it flows? Is it bouts of writer's block? Like,
yeah, it's all of it. And you know, it's different on a day-to-day basis because of what's going on in your life. It's like, additionally, again, with bipolar, we fight it so much, and it's still such a stigma. Well, you'll be like, oh, well, they're just like, oh my God, that guy was so crazy, he's like bipolar. And it's like some of those things that we still throw around all the time. But additionally, when we sit down, or when anyone is to sit down, or if I want to write a song, there's always a different process, because I'm always in a different headspace in any sense of the word. And it's hard to describe, because headspace for anyone going on with what their life is, but also having somebody that is working on their brain and in a headspace is very confusing. So your mind is working harder to stay focused and to stay in that same point, which is why sometimes it's really amazing to watch it flow, and also really paralyzing for it to not. Like, my parents thought I had mono a lot of my life because I slept a lot. And my bipolar, it's hypomanic. So bipolar 1 is more of a manic, where you, you know, kind of what you see more of
the movies.
That's right. And bipolar 2 is hypomanic. So when I get frustrated or overwhelmed, I can literally sleep for 72 hours without waking. So, or like going to the bathroom and going back to sleep. Like, if I have tasks and I'm completely overwhelmed, I literally will just go to sleep. They
did I'm not cutting you off to be.
No, please cut me off. I'll go forever.
Well, this is your moment. But there's a show on Amazon Prime called Modern Love. And I've talked about this before, because I only started watching it because Tina Fey's in it. And I'm a big Tina Fey fan. And the first episode of that show, like, I straight up cried. Like, I wasn't even like in the space. I was like, let me just watch it. And by the end of it, I was like,
I have to interject, because for you to be a man and to say that you can cry is like the basis beginning point of your like self-growth and mental space. And I applaud you. Keep going.
I appreciate it. I don't have an issue crying. And that episode, I told my best friend, yo, get on this episode. You will cry. He's like, and then he watched it and he cried too. But episode 3 or 4 has Anne Hathaway as the main character. And she's that type of bipolar you're speaking of. Where
I didn't know that.
It's a good show. I'm telling you now, because you just said
I always pass through it.
I passed it 100 times.
You know what I think? I think I thought of like Modern Family, and I only
it's nothing like that.
I only like reality type shows, like First 48, or like. That's the only kind of scary thing that
that's not reality. That's just cops beating people up. But
no, that's cops, and that's off the air.
Oh, the First 48 is when they like investigating people.
Yeah, because after like the first 48 hours to solve a homicide is like, it pretty much goes cold.
That's basically Miami. It's First 48.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like Cleveland, Ohio. That's like usually what it is.
After LeBron left, all the crimes went up.
Oh my!
LeBron left.
Literally.
They start punching people.
We're gonna be here all day, and I'm so excited.
It's fine. But the point is, the episode, I didn't know like you said, you educated me on the different types of bipolar. And so when you said what you said about sleeping for days on end, one of her things as an employee is that she's a really good employee, but then she'll miss 3 or 4 days of work. And they're like, where have you been? And she's like, oh, I just been caught up. And she would literally just, like, they did a lot of cinematic with the lighting and all that kind of stuff, but she would be that kind of person. Then she'll come bursting and then she'll be down again. And she did a really great job. I highly encourage you to watch it. We may have time today, so we're going to be here for 9 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
To watch it, because I think you'll see it and be like, oh, that's me as Anne Hathaway. And it was Modern Love. Check it out on Amazon.
No, I love that. No, I'm really excited about that for sure, because that's a thing. Like, I have great ideas. I know that I'm talented. I know that I'm capable. But when there's so many things, like even in the studio, like a producer would be like, hey, just send me a guitar riff real quick. that is not a hard task, but it will overwhelm me to the point where I will just become paralyzed, not respond, but I'm a professional person.
Right.
And that disconnect is what literally my self-sabotage in my bipolar is, because I don't know what trigger it is. I'm still trying to figure it out, try to find the way. I've only been diagnosed, like officially, professionally diagnosed as of last February.
Oh, so it's still relatively new for you.
Yeah. So, and I'm 32.
Doesn't look like it.
As of like
Crushing
4 days ago. Ow. Oh, that's those Lamparella jeans. Did you do the finger?
I did.
Do you know what that's from?
SpongeBob? That's what I bring up.
No, he doesn't.
The trumpet? I played the trumpet. I know.
Shut up. My dad played trumpet for like 33 years.
But this
to wake us up
when in doubt, pinky out.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking more like, do you remember when like, do you remember when kids used to do that? No, but you always had the finger out. No?
That's awesome. That's a tremendous noise. And I don't know any of my friends who did that.
Okay, well.
I think guys did like duck noises with that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm a recovering redneck, so like my dad would
how do you recover? You just leave?
Well, that's pretty much what I did. No, well, here's the thing. Like my father is a hunter and a fisherman.
That's awesome.
But more of like the hunter and fisherman that you think of like Wedding Crashers.
100%.
Tremendous
movie.
Where they like grow the quail. And then like they have like a tour guide, and then like the rich people just like pay to go, and then they have their dogs like just ruffle the bushes, and then the bird flies and you shoot it, and they're like, oh my god, we were like in the mountains, but like not.
Love Wedding Crashers.
So good. But the thing is like my dad like chartered his boat and like did all these things.
So he's out there.
But I wore white pantyhose and white gowns and white like earrings, and my dad would take me fishing, and he would call my mom after like 30 minutes and be like, pick her up, because I'm vegan. I wasn't vegan then, but that was just because it was placed in front of me.
You gotta eat what you got.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotta grow, and okay, I'm gonna put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. Yeah. But yeah, I just would like grab the reeds and like go. Okay, I didn't do it. I'm gonna ruse it. I'm gonna ruin it. That was a mix of losing and ruin.
That's cool. That's good. Ruse is a good word.
You say thank you. Patent it. I'll give you 10%.
No, it's an actual word. Like it's not. It's like it's not. It's a regular word.
I like to make up words that sometimes exist. That's pretty cool.
Tell Webster.
What's it like to know words?
I think Webster knows already.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm gonna ruin it for you. Say girl. Just girl. But you gotta make some like space for like some resonance.
I'm trying to do. I'll do it after the show.
I know we're gonna have a lot.
Something you're saying guy, not girl.
Girl. I mean, like.
Okay.
No disrespect.
No, you got tremendous skills. When you did it, I was like, I like sound effects. I think they're awesome, which is why I have the sound effect board. But then you are your own sound effect, and that is better than, which is my favorite sound effect.
Right.
But
that's mine too.
It works.
That's why we're friends.
Yep.
I feel bad. You're gonna have a lot of editing to do.
I don't edit it. I just let this go. I put it out to the people. They'll be fine.
Oh.
That actually makes it more authentic. I'm not professional enough to like.
Oh my god, I feel that on a spiritual level.
Yeah, I'm not over here like minute 27 and 32 seconds.
Well, I did voiceovers, and like that was one of my first jobs out here, and like at Mix 105.1.
Okay.
Do you remember it?
Nope.
Okay, bye.
No, I don't listen to radio.
Orlando.
Oh, but I was in college. I was out, going to Scoop trying to
That's where I met you.
Yeah, I remember, but I didn't meet you on a radio station. I met you at the gym. I met you at the gym. By the way, we've known each other for a long time. We didn't really preface this. We didn't even set it up properly. But I actually started training you for like one of your pageants, for like the Miss UCF pageant.
Yep.
Yeah, way back.
And I didn't win.
Well,
it's your fault. I'm just kidding.
I take zero responsibility for that.
Here's the thing. You know what's really funny? So I thought Miss UCF was like a talent show.
Yeah.
I didn't
you
know.
wanted to sing? Nah.
I didn't know that it was like a full-on pageant in the Miss America organization in Miss Florida. So like I did it, and I wasn't one of those kids that like did pageants growing up. Sure. I know I looked like it, but like I didn't.
Right.
And
you're out there in a white dress telling quails to leave. Yeah. Get out!
Run away,
Like,
Mom!
Yeah, we got it.
That's gonna be the new intro.
It's not.
It's not. Okay, we'll work on it.
We'll find it.
But yeah, and then I ended up winning a pageant. My like the last one of actually both pageants I won to go to Miss Florida 2011 and 2012 was like the last pageant that they had before the state level.
Right.
And both times my executive directors from Miss UCF were like, were they on drugs? Like, how did you win? Because of things.
I take no responsibility if you're not winning. That's
no,
the
but
whole.
it wasn't because of my body. Let me
No,
say that.
she was looking. Yeah, listen, you look great. You look great now.
Thanks.
But you had what 2021 or whatever.
2021.
I don't know what year that was.
2011, 2012, 2021 hasn't happened yet.
No, I'm saying like you at age 2021.
Ow.
So you're like 22, whatever. But
2021.
Yeah.
Ah, here I am.
Yeah,
Welcome
fine.
back.
Girl, yeah.
Bringing it in. Girl, girl.
You at age 22, I was like, okay.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's so nice. I
But
paid him to say that.
You didn't.
Okay.
I don't want people thinking I'm getting paid for compliments. All right. When I say something, it's legit.
Well, you know, it's funny. I had back surgery and I gained 40 pounds and I lost it. That was the end of that story. And then I found $5 and then I'll give it to you. For the compliments.
How'd you lose the weight?
I went vegan.
Oh, okay.
I did not eat very much. I mean, I'm sorry, I did not work out a lot.
Oh.
Did not eat very much. I had like really big gulps of air. No, but like I didn't work out a lot, but I went vegan and I went fruitarian for 2 months.
What's that fruitarian?
Literally nothing but fruit.
Okay.
And a lot of people, I mean, I'm sure you can attest for this. People are like, oh, sugar, sugar. But there's actually the way it breaks down is there's protein in the way that your body breaks it down.
I've done zero research on fruitarian, so I'm just gonna let you
I haven't
go.
done research either, but
The
the person that encouraged me to do it said that.
I've done no research, but I stand by
100%. I mean, like whatever. I mean, I wasn't like, I bruise really easily, but I'm not anemic. I just like, I'm super clumsy.
Okay.
So.
You're just saying, look at my body, the proof's in the pudding.
Right. And the way that I felt more than anything, like I had more energy. It really helped with my mental health because of like the medications I'm on, which I don't want to say that like medication is the be all end all.
No.
Like you have to do work and medication doesn't work for anyone. And then I know a lot of people give like psychiatrist crap for really trash day. Recycle, people. Recycle. Compost.
They just don't care.
Oh, wow. Dang.
They're really good. They're going in right now. They don't care about.
Look how close they are to the power line, though.
Yeah, that's super dangerous. But they don't care about fruit,
Maybe they
obviously.
do. Oh.
No, they don't. They care about the power line because that will shut this area down.
No, I meant like they care about their lives and like.
Oh.
You know, some people, they're doing the best they can.
No, they get paid pretty well, actually. And
really?
Yeah.
Okay, I need a job.
No.
I don't think I can do that with my back.
I wouldn't advise it. No.
No,
I think you have to have a mustache to be one of those people, and I'm not.
I don't think I've seen anyone with a mustache that works for waste management.
You want to go look at those guys right now?
I low-key do.
I bet two of them are sitting there like.
You low-key did too. I'm literally looking.
These guys have mustaches. I don't know what she's talking about. There's always at least one out there just stroking his stash while he's throwing trash away.
No, he's putting the bins back now. We're too late.
Oh, well, you missed the mustache, but I promise you might have a mask on.
I stepped on my sock and I tripped. I don't know if you saw that.
You were off. I saw it, but you were off camera, so they didn't see it, and that's fine. I wasn't going to say anything.
Now I announced it.
Now we all saw it. we can't unsee it.
Nope.
But
I just want to like shout out the coasters.
Yeah.
Are these not the cutest coasters you've ever seen?
You're welcome. So I was going to ask you this question now that we're doing all this stuff.
Okay.
So what is it like for you dating as a musician? Because people were like, all right, we got this.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did I mention that I was dating? Because I'm not.
That's why I'm asking the question, because people want to know. They see you. Okay, we got a pageant girl. She's super sassy. She's a recovering redneck. But what those DMs look like? That's what people are asking me.
Okay, fair.
That's what they're asking me. Like, I'm looking at your chat and they're like, you're asking about the DMs. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Let me wait.
So I'm asking the questions that people want to know. They care about fruit and all that stuff, but they really want to know.
They want to know about my fruit.
Oh, listen, you. That's there you go. I'm like,
okay, so like I am a career nanny. I love kids. I want to have kids. Being a career nanny reminds me how much I'm not ready for kids, but how much I love being able to give them back. But here's the thing.
I love you. Bye.
Bye. Literally. I just haven't picked the best of the litters yet. You know,
there's a lot of bad out there to pick. There's like fruit. Like you ever try to grab like a pear and you just are just rummaging through them, and you see a couple that got some rough spots, a couple got some brown.
But that's the problem. I pick those ones.
Well,
because I believe
when you're hungry,
in them.
you'll eat it. Yeah.
Fair. But you know what? It's funny because like I am always the person that's in a relationship, and I hate that about myself. And this is like the longest time I haven't been in a relationship, and you know, I just like forgot how fierce I was sometimes when you're in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like you give so much. Okay, being like a motherly, and without getting too deep, my therapist is like, stop trying to like save everyone because you couldn't save your mom. Yeah.
Okay.
So I lost my mom to breast cancer, and she was diagnosed a month after I moved here. Okay. And I'm from Florida. I know whatever. Well, so right. Well, I don't have any.
Yeah, you have your fruit. I have Miami. We're fine.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah. So she really did everything to keep me out here because she knows that I would have immediately gone home. Like she didn't tell me she had cancer for a while because she wanted me to get set up here. I didn't know anyone. I was like couch surfing. When did you come to LA?
About 4 years ago.
Okay.
So you were here before me for a year, crushing it.
No, I've been here for 8 years.
Oh, geez.
I literally graduated UCF, and I got rid of all my stuff, packed within my car, and I drove 2 days after I graduated.
Oh, so you were here when I was in Miami.
Yeah.
305.
Mr. 305. And I went from a 941 to a 407 to a 310.
Oh, you did 310 like you're doing some gang stuff, like.
Well, you know, I'm from the Gulf Coast of Florida, so like I've always been the West Coast, just the other coast.
Oh.
Ow! No, anyway.
Nope.
So long story long. Again, here we are. G-Man, what up? No, so rewind.
So 8 years ago.
So 8 years ago, I moved out here. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer a month after I moved here. I'm not close to my father, so like going home and her passing, I would have just been in Florida. And she really helped me get out here. And what were you talking about?
We're asking about dating. You were talking about trying to save people.
Okay,
cool. I'm good at it.
I was going. That's the thing. No, that's the thing. No, I need that.
I got you. That's what we're here for.
But it's all about mental health, and now you can see like ADHD. And,
you
like,
see it. They can see it. They can see it playing out in real life, and it's my job to be the referee.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that's the thing. Yeah. I now know that I thought I needed to be reeled in with somebody to fix them, so that I don't have to work on myself.
Oh.
So it comes from. Yes, obviously, daddy issues.
Sure.
2, wanting to fix everyone. Yes, losing my mom, wanting to save somebody, but mostly to not attack the deepest secret in myself and the parts that I don't like about myself, which is single-handedly the way that my brain works. So there's so many things that I'm learning now, again, that I'm aware of, but I'm not accepting them. And therefore I'm not applying them. So I love the idea of being in a relationship, the idea of being with somebody, the idea of love, the idea of my future, my family, and blah, blah, blah. But until this time, I haven't enjoyed myself if I'm not in a relationship, and I validated myself by someone who loved me.
Gotcha.
So I think.
So you're like learning to love yourself before you can.
And it's been so great. And like, I know I joked like saying how awesome I am, but like,
no, but
saying
you're
that.
fierce. They can see you.
But
they know you a little bit now.
But here's the thing. Then when the camera's off, the things is like, the point is that who are you? And like, my therapist did something with me that I totally recommend everybody doing. And I can guarantee that you can't do it. That's how hard this was for me.
Tell them.
I hope you can do it.
Well, I'm not gonna do it now.
I wish that you could. Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
So when you're looking in the mirror, look yourself dead in the eyes, dead in the pupils.
Right.
And 10 times say, I love you. Wait, thank you. I'm sorry. And I love you.
In that order?
I forget what order.
Okay.
But I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Just 10 times. I'm sorry. 10 times. Thank you. I love you. And like, I think I forgive you. Blah, blah, blah. But like, even thinking about doing that, that was so tough. Just like what it brought up was just like, you really had to literally face yourself in the mirror.
But it's like having to look yourself in the mirror.
So look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you. That's what it was. I love you, I'm sorry, I forgive you. And then maybe thank you.
Is that every day? Or is that multiple times throughout the day?
No, like literally 10, like I couldn't do it one time. Like looking at myself and being like, I love you. I love you. Like 10 times in a row. I think I only did it that once because I was like, oh, like that was so much.
Right.
And then I slept.
Right.
But no, like
draining though. I get that.
Totally draining. And I think as entertainers, people are like, if you listen to the story of like, oh, Chris's backstory, like blah, 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 Lauren's backstory, like this is the reason we're comedians. This is the reason we're who we are, because we either felt like we were invisible to someone and we have something that we want to be seen for.
Sure.
But it's different because we also know what it feels like to be alone. So we don't want people to feel that way. Like I know Robin Williams said that. He said, you know,
stuff.
Yeah. And he said that like, you want to make people laugh because you don't want them to feel the way you do. Like I always used to like do something stupid to make my parents stop fighting, to try to, you know,
diffuse the situation a little bit.
So being able to be vulnerable enough to show people like the real, and I think the entertainment industry is coming there. I think people are more, it just has to be, because no one's able to hold this up anymore. With the quarantine, again, no such thing as a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. 100% believe this is why, this is the change. This is, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement. It's just, everything is starting to look at that mental health, because if you don't know better, you don't know better. If you were raised thinking that, you know, Black people are inferior, how would you know any different? And if people think that all cops are, you know, it can go, and this is a whole nother thing, but if you think about it, 100%, but if you think about it, all of those things are mental. Yeah. Because that's what we're given. I just got this book called It Didn't Start With You, and how to break your family trauma that we pass on to our kids or take from our parents, whether we want to or not. Yeah. Like my sister had a baby, 14 weeks old, and I said, now that you had a baby, now that you're a mom, do you know everything now? And she's like, oh no, I don't.
I don't know anything. Except how to change a diaper.
Right. Yeah. Except how to change a diaper.
Hopefully.
Right. Yeah. But it's this thing. It's just like, as we grow, I think now that I'm getting older, and I'm speaking for myself, that I'm starting to realize no one has their stuff together. Yeah. And it's because people aren't willing, I think, to sit with themselves and be like, what is happiness? What do I want? What will change if I don't make a change?
Nothing.
And there's a lyric in my upcoming song.
There we go. You see how you bent it back. Okay.
And this song I haven't even talked about. It's After Wanderlust, and I don't even know if it's the song that I'm going to release yet, but I know it's going to be on the EP.
Okay.
And it's like this.
Can't wait. Just like that was a matzo ball. We just hung out there.
Everyone wants change, only a few see it through.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Listen, it was worth the wait.
Yeah.
There are people at home like, is that screen buffering? It's like, nope.
It's buffering.
Nope.
Yeah, it's buffering. Totally is. But yeah, it's like only a few stars shoot. Like, crap. But anyway, the whole point of it.
I got you.
It's not done yet, y'all.
There are a lot of stars, but only some stars actually become shooting stars. Yes. I get where you go. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You undermeant what I stood. So literally, it's just about same with me. Like with my mental illness, I can look at something and be like, wow, I want to move those books and make them straighter. Mm-hmm. But I'll get up and be like, okay, and I don't do it.
Right.
And everybody wants change, but like the people that change are the only ones that change. And that is such a hard concept for so many people. Yeah. Again, that's a whole awareness, but not accepting. Therefore, you won't apply it. And that has been like my biggest thing because I am that poster child. There's so many things I'm aware now and I'm thinking about constantly. I'm seeing other people, not judging them, but understanding where that change was for me, wanting that for that person, right. But that's their journey. And that's when I, for a while, was like interfering and intercepting because of what, like, there was this girl yelling at her mom in the library. And I was like, you're going to miss her when she's dead.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah. But borderline harassment. Also, it's like, I'm just trying to get a book. Like, you know what Charles Dickens is? Like, what's happening right here?
Like Rob Elliott with the kids' joke book. I'm going to read those to you, and they're going to be great.
No, don't do it on the pod. We can do that off air.
No. That was just like for you.
Oh, okay.
That was just for you.
You're bringing up something that.
Hi, Vic.
I thought that I've said this many times to people off air about, I think the educational system does us not a disjustice. That's not a word.
Disadvantage?
That's the sentiment. It does us an injustice because to use that in the academic sense, where as we're developing, what's being poured into us is the STEM stuff, right? Multiplication, addition, basic authors, reading and writing, whatever. But we don't do that thing. But we don't do anything for like the self, like the esteem and all that. Right. It may be an optional situation. You can talk to the counselor if you want to. But at that age, that's when you're most vulnerable and most unsure of yourself because you haven't lived enough life to know what the world is. And we don't put a premium on that. And then by the time you start going through real stuff, which for most kids is around puberty, you get a middle and high school, and you've had 13, 14 years of school or whatever, but you haven't ever really gotten into who you are, what makes you tick, what things hold you back. And all we're pushing you towards is, what do you want to be in life? What school do you want to go to? We're pushing all these things. And it's not a push for self-worth, self-esteem,
right?
How to conflict manage, how to deal with, like, bullying only works if the person being bullied somewhat buys into it. Other than physical bullying, if someone's grabbing you and you're small, fine. But like cyberbullying works if you don't feel good in yourself. Someone saying, you're a loser, Chris. If I feel like, no, I'm not being bullied. That's attempted cyberbullying, which isn't a thing.
Right.
But if I buy into it, you're a loser. Oh man, he's right, man. I'm small, I wear glasses. Then I buy into it because my own self-worth is not good. They're lashing out because they're damaged and they're hurt and they're trying to find some kind of vindication and pushing somebody down.
And then you think of where they're getting that from.
Right.
And it's usually the home. And, kind of touching on very, very deep issues like gun violence in schools, people have their own trauma. So they're passing that on to their kids because you don't know any better. You don't get like a manual when you're given a kid. or when you
They're books.
have a kid. Yeah, well, I mean, who reads them? Let's be real.
A lot of people. It's a very big industry.
Anyway, people can read things but not do it.
That's 100%.
Like kind of like
it's 100 baby books. You can
the
just
Bible.
Be like the first.
They're like, okay, this is what Jesus said.
But,
cool, good for you. I'm gonna
so don't kill people. Got it.
Got it. But everything else I'm gonna do. Right. Yeah. So, well, no. Okay. Anyway, but
that's a lot of people though. You're right.
Yeah. No, totally. You are not good for my ADD, but I love it.
What I do?
We're just going this way. But if there's any things that I have not finished, as far as thought-wise, write it in the comments.
I'm along for the ride with you.
No, it's okay. I'm here for it. I'm obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with you.
This is how comedians' brains work. So like your brain is like tangential, right? And ours kind of.
What's it like to know big words?
I don't know. I don't think about it. But so a joke to like try to pull it to some level of like centeredness is like we have a thought. Let's say how hot it is outside. Most people come at it from a very direct point. Man, I hate leaving. It's so hot, whatever. And then our job as a comedian, if you're trying to be funny, is to try to find that thought and different ways of attacking it. So we have to come at it from the back door, from around the corner, to try to find an angle to find it funny that's original. And so it makes your brain try to make connections to stuff that aren't apparent on the surface, but only after you weave it and make this like tapestry of thought that it becomes like, oh man, that's a really deep point. So you're like, oh yeah, my thoughts are all over the place. I'm like, yeah, but there's enough of a breadcrumb trail between them that I'm still walking with you. And I can like,
oh, I love that.
Lead us back to some symbols. Now, if you go really off world, I'm like, I don't know where we are.
Okay.
But up to this point, you've been.
I really appreciate the reassurance.
Yeah.
So basically what I gathered from that is always go through the back door. That's what I got.
If you want to be funny.
But it worked.
That's basically because there's no front end funny. Man, this COVID thing has been trash. And I was like, yeah, we all feel that.
Yeah.
That's not funny.
But I know there's so many people that are like, I'm so bored. I'm like, you can't find one thing to do?
There's so much.
There's so many things in my house that I was like, but it's so funny too, because I was like, oh yeah, like I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to finish my knitting project. And no.
Okay.
But I'm still there. Okay, I finished one, but like the one that I'm working on now, no, I'm on the second ball, the skein, if you will.
That's what it's called?
A skein.
Oh, I'm not a knitter. We learned something new. A lot of people were like, what's that ball called? I just thought it was a ball of yarn.
It is a ball of yarn, but it's called a skein.
It's cool to see. What's like to know cool words like skein?
It's like really cool.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's just whatever.
Like shout out to Campado Salon in Santa Monica.
Oh, like, well, listen,
No, literally, it's so cute. Like it's like this little salon. There's all this yarn, and then there's like little couches, and then like
you knit while your hair's being made. While your hair's being made.
No, it's literally a yarn salon. That's what they call it. And then like you get all your different, and then like people help you, and you're like, oh, this is my pattern. But it's just like all these really adorable Jewish ladies talking about like all the drama and like the
tea. They give you the Jewish tea.
Literally. No, I'm not even joking.
That sounds like an awesome place, actually.
It's so much fun. I love it. But it's they appreciate me because I'm the youngest one there.
Yeah. And like, you want to play mahjong later? You're like, I'm in my 30s. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. Maybe in 20 years.
I can't believe I'm in my 30s. Yeah. You know, my friend made me a Bumble going back to like the relationship thing.
The circle back.
Yeah, that's what comedians do. They always go back. I really would love to do. I would love to do stand up. But this is how I can do stand up. I have to have somebody to reel me back in. Yeah,
she's like, what she was trying to say, guys, is
they're like, okay,
she's not currently dating to answer the question from 11 minutes ago. We good?
Yeah, we good.
I got it.
Good. Yeah. All right. And here we are. But she made me a Bumble, and which is crazy because we were talking about earlier how my mom created a Christian mingle. Basically, if people are trying to hook me up, I delete both of them right away. But she was like swiping on all these guys, and they were like 40, 45, and I was like, they're like my dad, but they're like literally my age.
45 is not your age.
Like my age range.
You was in high school when you were born.
But like,
that's not the same.
But like, here's the thing, like. That's more common now. I mean, yeah, if I was in high school, that would be different, but like ages
I'm
Like another
saying,
thing,
when that guy was in high school, you were just being born.
right?
That's what I'm saying. You
Well,
know how much experience you had?
The
up to high
last two
school?
people I dated, like I was in my like elementary school. Like
that's
5 years.
That's the age gap between you two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is clearly why it didn't work out.
Yeah, it's probably a red flag.
But I don't know if that's why. Like maybe guys, they're just like more immature. But like even the 40-year-olds were immature, and it was just like I don't want.
There's a lot of immature 40-year-olds because
they're not focused on their mental health.
We see where we driving,
Mm-hmm.
because this is where I was getting to actually, because you touched on a point where the kid who's bullying you or attempting to bully you is doing what he's learning at home.
Right.
The problem is that generation before, the 13, 14-year-olds now, also wasn't taught about mental health.
Yeah.
So they don't have a good teacher to tell a 14-year-old boy how to deal with your emotions, how to like a girl and then get turned down, and it's okay to be hurt by that because it happens, and not lash out and want to fight people or not bring a gun to school when something goes wrong. But because they don't have that wherewithal to have the conversation, then when that kid has that feeling and it comes home, who's he bouncing it off of? Dad, I'm sad. No, you can find somebody else.
Yeah, don't cry. Toughen up, boy.
Right. You talk to your mom's like, it's okay, and so they're not being reinforced.
Or your mom coddles you like my mom did.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when something bad happens, all hell breaks loose because I have no one to just literally coddle me, take me shopping, and like created and instilled bad sort of reinforcement behaviors to like overcompensate for things that I needed to feel to be better. I was super sheltered.
Right.
So all of these things, like when my mom passed away, it was like the rug was just pulled out from underneath me. Gotcha. But like silly things I didn't know how to do. Like I just recently learned how to boil water, like just stupid things. Okay, not that recently.
People are sitting at home like, how old is you? Okay.
Yeah, well, okay. But
yeah,
along the same lines, like things were done for me. We had people clean and all these different things. Sure. That like the way I was raised was just different. I didn't know any better. So then not setting me up for success in that sort of way, even though it was made out of love, just left me
to fail.
Right.
That's
and then that
poetic.
came on me because it made me feel incompetent. So I would over exaggerate that by playing the dumb blonde, because then it was like, oh, she doesn't care, she's just being silly. Right. But it was like, no, bro, like I actually don't know how to do this, but I'm pretending like I do and writing it off, because then you don't have to know how I really feel, but you can laugh. Yeah. And then I feel better making you laugh. So that validates me.
Yeah. You can mask how you actually feel through laughs and diffuse any judging
but
from other
still
people.
Hanging on to that trauma that you may pass on. Like, as I said, again, I was a career nanny. I nannied this boy from when he was 3 months, and he's turning 7 this August. I stopped working with him when he was 5, and I was with him a lot. And we went overseas together. And I remember being in the airport, and he had a backpack, like, he had his stuff, but like my dad, when we traveled, and we traveled a lot, I'm really grateful, and like the first world problems, whatever. But when we were traveling, we weren't allowed to have anything out. And it was like code red if we're like going to sit down at like to eat in between layovers, and then like we get up and you don't have your things, or like you leave your water bottle on the table, and it's like that was the worst thing that could happen. And I didn't realize until like present moment when we were getting up that I started feeling anxious putting it on my 3-year-old. Get your stuff, did you have everything? And his mom even had to tell me like it's okay, we're hanging out. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize. And thankfully I was really close with their family that we could talk that way. Right. And it wasn't like a, overbearing, manipulative, we disciplined the same way. But she was like, it's okay. And I was like, until this moment did I realize that trauma was from that situation, and this triggered it. Because they're so much more lax. A lot of the families here are. Yeah. But in addition, it's like everybody gets an award, and everybody gets a participation
14th place.
Yes. So there's like good and bad to both of those, because some families, they don't want their kids to feel left out, and so they always want to champion them, but then they're going to grow up and not know how to lose. And then this family where it's so hardcore that Code Red, they're going to leave their kids with so much stress and anxiety and inadequacy.
Yep. I see the
That
word.
was a big word.
I see it. I saw you said it and you
and then I looked like she did. She graduated.
Listen, I see you trying to get them off.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what I think it is? I think because I'm hanging out with so many little kids that I'm just like, bebop. Like, I forgot words.
You sound like a minion now. Papaya.
Banana. Yeah,
Banana.
that was really good.
I love minions. This has been established.
You would be a minion.
A minion, yes.
Minion.
I'm a big fan. Like papaya.
Wow,
Little Bob. Yeah, Bob's my guy.
Now I know what you're gonna be for Halloween this year. You've already done it. Have you already done it? Yeah.
So anyway, we're we're gonna slide into a finish line here. So, where can people find you on social?
Okay.
Because I know people want to like get more of this.
Oh, well, I appreciate you wanting more of this.
Oh, this is them. I'm done.
I'm done.
Your time.
My boy said, I'm done. He's like, I'm trying to watch Big Hero 6. You are. It's fine.
Okay, fine.
Whatever. I'm bossy.
I see that.
Yes. So, again, my name is Lauren Chase. I have a song out now called Wanderlust, and it's right there. Love the great graphics. I actually made it myself.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you have a typewriter?
It's an app. I do have a typewriter. Yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah, it's my grandpa's actually. It doesn't work at all.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Well, I also haven't opened it because like he also left me when he passed. He left me his alto sax that he played in the Navy in World War II.
That's pretty sexy.
But right?
Yeah.
But I'm like afraid to open the case because like first of all the suitcase thing that it's in is like velvet, like gorgeous. Oh. But I feel like it's also like decrepit and like falling. Another big word. I don't even know if that's the right word.
No, you're right. I'm with you.
Oh my god, thanks.
We're here right now. Okay. See, your vocab is growing by the moment.
Thanks.
You're gonna drop some real ones.
Oh.
Keep on.
Okay, so Lauren Chase Wanderlust. It's on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Deezer, Tidal, blah 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 blah. Anywhere you stream or buy music.
What's that last place?
Blah 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 blah. And you can find me on Instagram at Lauren Chase. And it's L-A-U. A lot of people here spell it L-O-R-A-N.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
No. Yeah, but here, back home, it's like L-A-U, which is what it is. Yeah. So, and it's not like Lauryn Hill. It's L-A-U-R-E-N, not Y-N.
Yeah.
Love her.
Everybody loves Lauren.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think my parents really wanted me to have like a coffee mug from like Rainforest Cafe. So like they spelled it just like
the traditional way.
Traditional.
Like, where's my name with the Y? We just don't do.
I know. I'm Italian and Swedish, but I have the whitest name ever. Lauren Michelle Chase.
If you look up white in the dictionary, I think you'll see your name.
You'll see my face.
Yeah. You'll see your name and you'll see Wanderlust next to it. It's like,
literally, it's just white as
like,
paper.
That's a pretty white paper.
Yeah, it's pretty white paper. This is bronzer. Thanks. Anyway, I'm on Instagram at Lauren Chase, LAURENCHASE, like the bank. I'm on Twitter at It's Lauren Chase because I messaged the girl who has Lauren Chase. She hasn't been on Twitter since 2009, and I tried to like report her saying that she's stealing my identity, but like her name is literally also Lauren Chase. So
she won't give you the name back?
She hasn't been on Twitter. I can't message her because she's not following me.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, it's Lauren Chase. And then on, what else do I have?
I don't know. This is for the people.
MySpace. I'm just kidding.
Catch me on blackpeoplemeet.com.
Yeah.
You would get scooped up on blackpeoplemeet.com.
But
I don't think you can even.
I was gonna say like, when are they gonna be like, wow, bitch? Oh, I'm sorry. Can we cuss on this?
You can do what you want.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've been like really holding back. Like,
no, you could actually. We get some give over generally. You're fine.
We need to start this over.
No, we don't.
I'm just kidding.
We can do another episode some other time. But
yes. Spotify, Instagram. I'm on Snapchat at crave_LC.
Ooh.
That's the fun stuff. And then OnlyFans.
So we had to move the table around, but do you want to give people a little? All right.
Okay, so this is called Wanderlust. This is the acoustic version, so I really hope you like it. I'm no stranger to morning sun. I'm a danger in the eye to my future me. When you said it will be hard to leave, but oh, I forgive you. Dreaming's not a waste of time. Honest, I won't change my mind. Listen, 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 baby. Not who wander on lost inside. Not afraid of being out at night. 'Cause my heart will be my guiding light. Got no money, but my future's bright. Let's all just get out of here. Promise me you'll never be the one to get comfortable as some have done. I can lead you where the wild run. Just look to the sky from here. Dreaming's not a waste of time. Dreaming's not a waste of time. Wanderlust, I won't change my mind. Listen, 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 baby. Not a who wander on lost this time. Not a who wander lost this time. I'm a sucker for spontaneity. I'm a dreamer against all reality. Join me this time. Join me this time. Dreaming's not a waste of time. Honest, I won't change my mind. Listen, 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 baby. Not a wonder lost this time. Not a wonder lost this time. Thank you.
Dope.
Yay! Oh, it is recording.
Yeah, people are still watching, or they're going to watch eventually. So, Lauren, that was dope.
Oh.
No, it's fine. They don't need to see that much more of me. This is your moment to shine. You're like, get out. This is my moment.
This is me.
Yeah, I can't sing, so that's why I actually moved my chair completely out of screen.
Voice lesson. That would actually be really cute. I want to do like a comedy thing where I'll just play like your
like John Legend, not John, like John Mayer and Dave Chappelle. They do that.
Shut up! I'm obsessed with that.
It's awesome.
I wanna
It's
see that.
John Mayer playing, and then Dave is just like telling jokes over it.
That I will be your John Mayer.
We can do that,
Although
but
I cannot play as well as John Mayer.
no, John
so-
Mayer is a legend. But anyway,
Really.
thank you guys for tuning in to an Official Therapy Podcast.
Thank you guys.
Miss Lauren Chase ripped it.
This is more fun for me, I think.
This is awesome. I
love
thoroughly enjoyed
this.
this. I've been trying to set this up
We're
for some
doing it.
time, and
We're
we're here
doing
now.
it.
So check us out on Spotify and the podcast app, Unofficial Therapy Podcast. Subscribe, tell your friends, like, follow Lauren on Instagram, Facebook, whatever else
Yep,
she's on.
Everything.
And how can they get Wanderlust? Like iTunes?
Yeah, anywhere you stream my music, it's on. And I just posted my lyric video too. It's on
Boom.
YouTube, or it's in the link in my bio on my Instagram. Be my friend.
And don't try to, if you see her on Bumble, it's not a real account. It's somebody trying to set her up. So
So find me on Snapchat.
Oh, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.